Have you ever had a meal that was just so beautiful it somehow tasted even better? Or maybe you've noticed that the brightest red candy always seems to be the sweetest. Well, I'm here to tell you you're not imagining it. Not at all. It's a real thing, and it's because you are quite literally eating with your eyes. So let's dig in and see how deep this rabbit hole goes. All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to start by exploring this whole idea of eating with your eyes. Then we'll crack the code on how color dictates flavor. After that, believe it or not, we're talking about the geometry of taste. Yeah, shapes. Then we'll get into the brain science of it all, and finally, we'll see how this science is used every single day to design the food you eat. Okay, first things first. We have to completely rethink what flavor even is. We all assume it's something that happens on our tongue, but the truth? Well, it's a whole lot weirder and way more interesting than that. So let me ask you this. When you bite into a juicy strawberry, where does that amazing strawberry flavor actually happen? Is it all on your tongue? As you're about to find out, that's not even close to the full story. This is the key difference right here. See, taste is just the basic stuff your tongue picks up. Sweet, sour, salty, bitter. But flavor, flavor is the main event. It's this incredible masterpiece that your brain creates by mixing together taste, smell, texture, and, you guessed it, what you see. Flavor happens in your head, not in your mouth. And if you need proof of who's in charge, just look at this. Over half of your brain's processing power is dedicated to vision. Over 50%. And taste? It gets a tiny 1 or 2%. With that kind of power imbalance, it's no wonder our eyes basically get to boss our taste buds around. So let's talk about vision's biggest weapon, color. Our brains are basically programmed to use color as a sneak peek for flavor, setting up our expectations way before that food ever gets near our mouth. And this isn't random. Our brains have been learning these rules our entire lives. We know red strawberries are sweet. We know green limes are sour. It's like our brain has built this super fast shortcut. See a color, expect a taste. It's a code we all subconsciously know how to read. And hey, don't just take my word for it. This comes from Professor Charles Spence, a top researcher in this field. He basically says our eyes are so convincing that they can actually tell our tongue what it's tasting. What we see becomes what we taste. And get this, it's not just a feeling, it's measurable. In one study, people were given the exact same drink, just with different colors. The drinks with a deeper red color were consistently rated as being up to 11% sweeter. Let that sink in. Nothing changed but the color, and boom, more sweetness. All right, if you thought the color thing was weird, buckle up, because it turns out it's not just the color of our food that matters, it's the shape. Welcome to the geometry of taste. This is just wild. Research shows that pretty much everyone, over 90% of us, instinctively connects round, smooth shapes with sweet tastes. And sharp, pointy shapes, we link those to sour or bitter tastes. It's like our brain thinks a round shape feels gentle and an angular one feels sharp on our tongue. So how big of a deal is this? Well, check this out. In one study, they served people the exact same cheesecake. When it was on a round plate, people rated it as 20% sweeter than when it was on a square plate. That's right, the same food, a different plate, and a massive difference in how it tasted. This whole thing is actually tied to a classic psychology experiment called the Booba-Kiki effect. If I showed you a round shape and a spiky shape and asked you which one is Booba and which is Kiki, you'd almost certainly say the round one is Booba. Our brains just naturally connect shapes to sounds, and it turns out, to tastes as well. So what is going on inside our heads? Why is our brain so easily fooled by a simple color or shape? It really all comes down to how our senses talk to each other. The fancy scientific name for this is cross-modal correspondence. But all that really means is that your brain doesn't keep your senses in separate little boxes. They're all talking to each other all the time. So the information from your eyes isn't just for seeing, it's actively changing and influencing the information coming from your tongue. So think of it like your brain creates a little flavor forecast. You see a yellow banana. Instantly your brain goes, okay, I've seen that before, yellow bananas are sweet. And just like that, it sets an expectation. Before you even take a bite, your brain has already made up its mind about what it's supposed to taste like, and that forecast completely shapes the final experience. Okay, so now for the last piece of the puzzle. This isn't just some cool bit of science to know,
It's a fundamental tool used by the modern food industry every single day. They are actively engineering your meals using these exact principles. Seriously, this science is everywhere. It's in the shape of the yogurt pot you buy, the way a chef plates your dinner, the colors on a cereal box, and even in how those viral recipe videos on social media are shot. It's all meticulously designed to manage your expectations and guide how you perceive flavor. Next time you're at the grocery store, I want you to look for this. You'll see it. Creamy, mild foods like yogurt almost always come in rounded tubs to signal sweet and smooth. But intense, salty Parmesan cheese comes in a sharp wedge. Bold hot sauces, often in angular bottles. The package itself is whispering flavor secrets to your brain. And if companies get this visual language wrong, oh, it can be a total disaster. Just look at Crystal Pepsi. We all have this deep ingrained belief that cola is dark brown. So when they launched a clear cola, people's brains freaked out. Their eyes screamed water, but their mouth tasted cola, and that complete mismatch was just too weird. The product totally flopped. So I'll leave you with a question to chew on. The next time you sit down to eat, just pause for a second and really look at your food. And ask yourself, am I tasting what's actually on this plate, or am I just tasting the delicious story my eyes told me first?